Welcome to Weather Impact Live. Meteorologist Mike Prangley, and we're going to have a lot of fun as always this morning. And you know, we actually sent Robert Speta out, with the protector this morning because we knew snow would not be too far from home, and we found it. So stay tuned for that. But first things first, let's get a quick synopsis of the forecast. What can you expect on your Sunday? Snow not a go for us, but boy, plenty of weather impacts, and officially a weather impact alert in effect as we head through the rest of today, tonight, and through 9 a.m. on Monday. In fact, we're talking about rain today, and then we got the freezing temperatures tonight. So we get out those big hats and coats like we did on Friday morning. We're talking once again a hard freeze well inland towards southeast Georgia. One difference with this freeze, not quite as cold as the last one, and we're looking for more in the way of wind chills. So it may be a few degrees warmer than we were Friday morning, but with that wind chill, not much better. I know, I wish I had better news. It's almost over. Hang in there. All right, we're going to slow down is what we need to do. We're wearing the rain gear, and we've got those winter coats handy. Now let's take a look at the radar. I'm going to step over here to the wall, look at this meteorologically here, Katrina. And you know, we've got a lot of rain on radar, but there's that snow that our snow hound Robert Speta was tracking this morning. So here's Jacksonville, I-10 all rainy here up to Valdosta. You go a little further up I-75, there was a quick burst of snow. Oh boy, especially toward Vienna, and then once you got to Macon, that's where we saw the big flakes and some accumulations. And earlier this morning, we actually had snowfall in Florida toward Pensacola. We'll get to that after Robert. But first things first, the rest of our Sunday, expect the showers to continue, a cold rain, falling temperatures. If you're looking to walk the dogs or get out like I am, you know, my dogs need to be let out. Thinking as we get toward 2 o'clock, things will be improving. But for now, the heaviest rain of the day is coming through. So if you're in Duval, St. Johns, Clay, Putnam County, you had a little bit of a light break, a little bit of lighter rain. Now we've got the heaviest rain of the day on the way. You see a little yellow on radar, not thunderstorms or severe weather toward Valdosta and Waycross. A little bit of ice picked up. So basically the oblate spheroids, as you go up into the atmosphere, we do have some frozen precipitation, but it's so warm at the surface, it's melting before it actually reaches the ground. So that's going to be the story for us, it looks like, today. But there's the big picture showing not one but two fronts. It's where that second front, that Arctic front, is setting up is where we're seeing those bursts of snow. So you got to go more towards central Georgia, Macon, and that'll stretch up toward Augusta, Georgia as we head through the afternoon. So if you're traveling north, be extra careful. Don't be surprised to see a little slushy snow. In fact, we do have winter weather alerts that we highlighted here in pink. Where you see the pink, that's where the heaviest snow zone will be. Okay, so you got Macon here, and officially a winter storm warning for another 57 minutes. And then winter weather advisories. What's interesting, here's our viewing area just to the north of Ware County. We've got some winter weather advisories officially until 2 p.m. Maybe a few wet snowflakes mixing in, not looking for much in the way of accumulation. If you're up toward northern Ware County, Pierce County, perhaps a few wet snowflakes we could see. Okay, but again, temperatures above freezing, and it's going to happen around 3 o'clock as the precipitation's ending. So yeah, if you see any, send us some pictures, and of course we'll share those. But for today, the story is the cold weather, updating 47 degrees right now in Duval, 46 in Keystone Heights, Lake City 43. And if you've noticed, this is a lot different than what we woke up with. And we're talking about these temperatures continuing to fall through the afternoon. So as we look at our very latest data here on our streaming show, high-res Futurecast, Folkestone, Brunswick, Waycross, yeah, those temperatures will continue to fall into the 30s this afternoon as not one but two fronts, cold fronts, come through. The first front, more of a normal cold front, and the second front's that Arctic front. So that's why today, much different than most of our days, right? We're seeing temperatures that started in the 50s. We could end in the upper 30s toward Waycross, Folkestone, southeast Georgia. Look at Jacksonville as we head toward 3 o'clock, just 42 cold, bone-shivering degrees, 50 to St. Augustine and 49. But the big thing here is you see the back edge of the rain, for the most part, moves out. I think most of that rain out of the area as we head toward 3 o'clock. So yeah, we'll be letting the dogs out, but I've got a few layers that I'm going to bundle up with. Back edge of the clouds will come through as we head through the evening, but the big story, again, with this freeze won't necessarily be the temperatures. You know, they'll be cold enough. You notice we got lows in the mid to upper 20s, Waycross, Folkestone, 28 degrees, Lake City, 29, Jacksonville officially 29. Beaches a little warmer, mid 30s along the river, but that wind is really going to kick up. All right, so as we look at our 12 on 12, we take a look at today's falling temperatures, highest rain chances before 2 o'clock. This evening we clear out and look at that temperature by 8 o'clock, 37 degrees, but wind chills in the 20s. Some of that snow I was talking about in Macon, Georgia, covering the ground. Isn't that impressive? Woo, looks like a winter wonderland out there. And we had our very own Robert Speta in search of snow not too far from home, and he found some. So let's bring him on board. Robert, you've done a great job, and I knew if anybody could find the snow, it would be you.
Yeah, we've been on the hunt for it all morning, Mike. I'm sorry. It's wet where you are. I think what you got in Jacksonville is the worst of the weather, Mike. Just absolutely putrid with the rain in the 30s and 40s. Yeah, what was your initial kind of thought on where the snow line would be?
Okay, so we're taking a look at the forecast, Robert, and I'm coming back here. One more time on the question here. I couldn't hear you.
I said, what was your initial thought yesterday on where the snow line would be? What were you thinking?
Yeah, well, we were talking as a team. You know, we do our little team weather chats, and you know, I think we're all on board.
Yeah.
We're thinking Tifton, Georgia,
just...
Tifton to Macon, and then that extended over into Georgia. And you and I were on top of this days ago. I mean, when did we start talking about this? Like Wednesday, Thursday?
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, all along we're thinking here at home it's going to be a few.
So my
wet
point
flakes.
is, it looks like. Yeah, and it looks like that was kind of right on where we were seeing it. Basically from Tifton, that is about the line of the rain snow line there. We are in Sylvester, just towards the west. We noticed that towards the north there on the radar, Macon, Georgia is getting it. And I'll take you out on a roof cam here on the Protector. Of course, we are in the Protector right now. We love the Protector. This thing has been rolling along pretty nicely, and look at that. There you go. It's a little bit of the grass is not naturally white. I'll tell you that. We got some good snowfall out here, and it has been coming down. In fact, it's just in the since you started talking at the top of the show, if we would have come to me right away, we probably would have seen the fat flakes. They're starting to lighten off a little bit. Maybe we'll try to go east and try to catch up to it open. Yeah, well, back to where because it's already starting to lighten up, so we've been trying to position ourselves right into this snowfall here. But this Sylvester, some pretty decent snow on the ground, but I look right across the street from me here and kind of see what's accumulated on top of the cars. And this is what we've been saying from the start, is that, and as Mike was just alluding to there, the wet snow, not really seeing much accumulation, but maybe on top of some vehicles, on some of the grass. But the roads have been mostly clear, but they are slick. And I know they're slick because just a few minutes ago, we actually, if you were watching on the stream, we came across somebody that slid off the road. We pulled over, made sure they were okay. Some emergency personnel were on the way, but yeah, we've already seen an accident out here on 82 just outside of Sylvester, west of Tilston. Also, we're basically, you know what, this snow came down heavy for like 30, 40 minutes, but now it is tapering off and already changing over. So now I think we should do, Oben, is get on 82 and start heading back towards, 82, and start heading back towards I-75 here. That annoying buzzing is the Protector. I think it's got some snow on one of the sensors. It's been going off here. But yeah, you know, we've been just driving along here, and I hope everybody's been following along here, watching what we've been seeing out here in this truck all day out here, Mike. Just tracking it since this morning. But I think, Mike, I got to give you a shout out.
What's that?
Spot on with who you were just saying with the forecast and kind of where we were seeing the heaviest of the snow, or at least where that rain snow line would be.
Yeah, Robert, you and I love tracking our snow together. We've been through quite a few events, and I always enjoy looking at radar with you and going over the very latest, and we love slicing the atmosphere. We just go bit by bit until we find that snow, and you did a great job all morning keeping us apprised of the latest, and it was so interesting as the farther north you went, as we're seeing right now. It went from rainy, soggy. I got the ugly part, the wet part of the forecast, but at least you saw, if it's going to be this cold, at least you got that beautiful little taste of a winter wonderland. So great job.
Yeah, you know, Mike, not to cut you off there, but yeah, I agree. I would 9.9 out of 10 times rather have 32 in snow than 35 in rain. It's because the majority of the time of us being out here today, we were going after it, and it was in the rain, and when that switched over to snow, we were like, Oh, thank goodness, finally. It's like this is just such a relief.
Yeah, Sally and I were getting worried.
We got this winter wonderland out here right now.
Yeah, we were all mesmerized in the newsroom. I said, Sally, he's got to find it. I know he's going to run into it. I was watching radar. He's getting closer. He's got to find it. So you did good. I liked how you were zooming. Tell us more about the tools you used as you went to the north. I'm curious there and how that helped you track the snow.
Well, so what's really nice, and so I'm going to pop back up in here. I got my laptop right here. Basically, we're able to dial into the same computer graphics we use in the studio. I'm able to dial it into on here, so we've been tracking here on radar. I've actually been using the First Coast News app as well. I know it sounds like a pitch, but it does, because the First Coast News app does have a setting where you can find the rain snow line on it. And it also shows like where warnings are and stuff. So I've been tracking with there, and there's a GPS location, so you can kind of follow along with it. I've sneakingly put radar scope in there as well, you know, but I think one of the other things is we do have a weather station on board. In fact, I'll just, instead of me showing it, I'll just swing it around. So you can see here the anemometer. Well, it's got a temperature gauge on it. And we've been watching the temperature, and it's almost like a game of you're hot and you're cold. Like, you know how you played when you were kids and you were like, you're getting warmer, you're getting colder. So the further west we went, we would see the temperature going from like 36 to 35. I'm like, and it got to 34, and we were sitting here like, like 5 minutes. It's gonna be 5 minutes, and it switched over. Like, there it is. You know what's funny though, Mike?
Yes.
Once it switched over, somebody pulled up behind us, and they jumped out of their car, started taking photos. Okay. And I was like, oh, what are they up to? And I asked them, and they said, oh, we came in from Gainesville because we've never seen snow before, and we came up here to see the snow. I'm like, that's an accurate forecast. They knew exactly where to go.
That's right. That is great stuff there. And I'm sure in Gainesville, you know, they watch us. They can watch us there. And our weather team was on top of this with the weather impact alert, with the protector. And I'm looking at current conditions, Robert. I'm scanning the area. I've got Alma now at 39 with light rain and fog, north-northwest winds at 10. So, of course, in the Alma, Baxley area, we've now fallen to 39 degrees with rain, north-northwest winds at 11. So we're on the cusp of some of those wet snowflakes. So your job is to bring home at least a little bit of snow with you for the very northern tier of our area, it looks like. But again, I don't think we're going to see it stick like you're seeing. So at least you gave us a little bit of better taste of what's happening a little farther north. Homerville now 43, but again, Hazelhurst, if you're in Alma, Baxley, and Hazelhurst, and of course that's just north of Ware County, those are the areas that I'm honing in on for maybe the best chance of some of those wet snowflakes as we get toward 1:30, 2 o'clock. What you're thinking with all the tools. Does the protector agree with me?
With the rain ending just being completely over, is that what you asked?
Yeah, well, as you're moving south, you know, you're tracking the temperatures, but you're also starting to track some of that polar air, like with that second Arctic front. So as you move farther south, you're literally bringing that cold air with you, Robert. You seeing that?
Yeah, for real. Like, and you know what? It's going to drastically improve on the backside of this, but the cold air is in place. Because right now, you know, it's starting to clear out here, and we're trying to catch back up to the snow band.
Right.
But what we're seeing is the temperature is below freezing. So I think that once the rain stops in Jacksonville, it is going to be a real, it's going to be like a light switch where it goes from the rain, soggy part of the day to the, oh goodness, cold but blue skies type of day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it can happen in a hurry there. And, you know, it was interesting. You had the temperatures drop to 32, and you were actually colder than Atlanta, Georgia. So you had what we call some dynamic cooling in the atmosphere. So you had that rush of precipitation, a lot of evaporative cooling. And it was just really interesting to watch as we sent the protector in that little cold cove of air, right, in that little sweet spot, so to speak, and you see what it would produce there with some of those grassy areas being covered, and just a beautiful view of winter here in the deep south. Oh yeah, it's kind of nice out here, but like I mentioned, slick roads. We did have somebody slide off earlier, and I hope
Hope everybody's staying warm out here today. That's one of the big things. But
Yes.
hey, to answer your question, I think also on the rain and the cold air, I think by the time we even get back to Jacksonville, all that's going to be out of there, right? Like the rain's going to be moved on, and then we start to switch over to the cold. And remind me, because you've been looking at this all day.
Yep.
How cold are we looking at tonight in Jacksonville?
Right, well, it's good. That's what I'm looking at right now. In fact, we look at current temperatures. Jacksonville Naval Air Station, Robert, we got 49, but a north-northwest wind at 25. We got northwest winds and north-northwest winds now gusting at the airport up to about 22 miles per hour. Officially, Jacksonville at 46. Watching Cecil, that's the cold spot of the area, down to 48. So we literally are falling right now. And we're not going to be as cold as we were Friday morning, but it's the wind chills I think we're going to feel the brunt of with this second Arctic front that's coming through here in the last few days. So as we drop and look at those low temperatures this morning, we were 50, and then we're dropping through the day. By tomorrow morning, likely most areas into the upper 20s to near 30 in Metro Jacks, even 32 on the south side. Beaches in the river a little warmer in the mid 30s. And then, of course, interior southeast Georgia would be the cold spot with temperatures in the mid 20s. But again, with the wind chills, we're all going to feel like the 20s in the morning. So it's a good thing. A lot of folks off for the holiday, right? So they can just stay snuggled up in their beds and their warm blankets, lots of layers. And then, of course, we've got the parade forecast tomorrow. And at least by the time we head toward noon, just a special, how it is Florida winter. We're not going to take off the winter coats, but it'll feel much better with temperatures back in the 50s. So looking much better for parade time for sure.
Yeah, oh yeah, and the parade is still on, because that was one of the worries, was that it would be delayed because of the cold air. So just confirming what you just said right there, the parade is still on for tomorrow morning then, right?
Yep, parade is looking good, and should be a wonderful parade day with lots of bright sunshine, and it's always a fun time here downtown. So looking forward to seeing everybody out here, and in the meantime, make sure you have a safe trip back to Jacksonville. And we're talking cold temperatures as we finish out our streaming show. And I can't wait to see some more of your pictures and videos that you'll be sending back.
I do want to show you something.
Yep.
I do want to show you something real quick here, Mike.
Okay.
So we just started heading back eastbound, and this shows you how narrow that snow band was. And where we've seen the snow, it was a very limited. So if you missed out on the snow in parts of Georgia, don't feel too bad, because this is our road right now. So I was just showing you a second ago,
boy.
We had snow on the grass, everything was covered, and it's gone. It was like a 5-minute drive, we were out of it. So that's why we have the protector, because we had to find the snow. And we're already drove right out of it here. Also, I do want to know, and hey, real quick, while I got you up here, on my left, this was actually one of the accidents earlier. When it was snowing out here, I do think the roads got a little bit slick, and you can kind of see the police officer out ahead of me here. We did pull over with the protector. We made sure this gentleman was okay.
Good.
Yeah, you kind of see it right off to the side here. There's a vehicle in the woods right there. He said he was good. He said some people were coming in to help him out. But that was the other part of why we have this truck out here, is so we can go to places even in the rough weather and make sure, just kind of be there for people. And he said he was good to go. Everybody was safe with that. But it also just shows real quick, the roads can be slick out there, even in those spots that are getting just a little bit of snowfall there, Mike.
All right, Robert, great job as always. We appreciate you. Be safe coming home, and coming back here, we're talking about our weather impact alert officially in effect for the rest of today into tonight and through tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. So again, Robert Speta, live in the Protector. That's what streaming's all about, giving you the latest data. And it's important with these snow situations. We talked about that fine line of the cutoff of the snow. A lot of times you need visual representation. You need what we call ground truth. And in a situation like today and this morning, yeah, we knew as you got up toward Tifton, Macon, even just south of Atlanta, there was a big deal of uncertainty as to how heavy that snow would be and what the temperatures would do. So we took the Protector up there in that little snow spot, that sweet spot, so to speak, and it was interesting how we watched the temperature fall dramatically where they had that heavy precip and there was a sharp snow cutoff. So it really gave us confidence in our forecast here at home that the snow would stay north of us And if we got anything, maybe a few wet snowflakes for Waycross with that winter weather advisory remaining north of our viewing area. So using all the tools we can to keep you and your family safe and up to date with the latest. That's what it's all about. In fact, I'm going to head to the weather wall if that's cool, right? We got a few more minutes, right, Katrina? A lot to cover here. Okay, so we took you out to the Protector. We took you live, and I'm going to come on over here, mosey over here, and take a look. Currently 47 in Jacksonville, 48 in Neptune Beach, 54 in St. Augustine, but the temperatures are falling quickly across the First Coast. So today's weather impact alert, it wasn't about the snow for us. It was about the cold rain and the wind all along and the freeze that we're preparing for tonight. So rain today, freeze tonight, wind chills of 20 to 25. So I've got little Cooper, my 12-pound little puppy. He's going to be probably under, he'll be under the pillows, what he'll do in this type of weather. And remember the pets, the plants, some of those sensitive plants that we brought in. I would keep them inside, at least for another night. And then, of course, we've got the winter coats, and I've got my hat ready to go in the trunk for tomorrow morning. One thing, so breaking news this morning, of course, we tracked a little bit of snow north of us, but not just north of us, but to the west of Jacksonville in Pensacola, Western Florida, Milton, Florida. All right, we had a little bit of snow, and that's significant because unofficially, it's not official yet, likely the first year and the first time ever, really, that we've had back-to-back years in Florida with accumulating snow. We've never done that before. So as we look to the west, we were 53 in Jacksonville. This was at 8 a.m., 32 in Pensacola. There's that Arctic front I was talking about, and look what it looked like. So winter wonderland in Florida. There's Deerland, Florida. You can see some of the trees. That's something you would find up in the Northeast, right? It looks more like maybe New York, right? We got more snow there in Milton, Florida. You can see the roads. There's some traffic, so at least the roads weren't icy, but you can see all the accumulation on the grassy areas. And really for that snow record, we just needed trace amounts of snow. We just needed to record some type of precipitation that's accumulating. So it should hold. And then this is my favorite, snow in Holt, Florida this morning. You can see the trees really lit up by some of that sunshine after that quick snowfall of about a ½ inch. So pretty cool, right? And here at home, yeah, we're talking about the cold weather, and it feels like it's going to snow, doesn't it? Well, it's a cold rain. 47 Jacksonville, 43 Waycross. We're about 5 to 10 degrees too cold this time around, as you see, but yeah, cold enough, right? We got temperatures 20 degrees colder than 24 hours ago. And the big story with this freeze, as I was talking about with Robert, yeah, we're going to get the freeze, but the wind is going to be an issue. And we're seeing that out there, some gusty winds out of the north-northwest at 15 to 25 miles per hour. So look at the wind chills. We're already dropping in the 30s. St. Simon's Island, yeah, the Golden Isles are the frozen Isles. 38 in Waycross is how it feels. Even some 30s down to Columbia, Baker County, McClenny area, Keystone Heights at 39. So this will be the story as we head through the rest of today and to tonight. The back edge of the rain, it's getting here. Still think we have another couple of hours once we get to about 2 o'clock. Especially 3 o'clock, the back edge will move through the area. You can see the very latest on radar. We're watching Robert go through the snow back into the rain here along I-75. So there he was, and now he's in some of that rain. So we told him to slow down and be careful. And as we look at that cold rain, that'll be the story, the heaviest between now and about 1 o'clock, and then improving conditions. And then that second front, so front number 1. Then it's the Arctic front that comes through as we finish out the day. And yeah, we could see a little sunshine. Winter weather alerts, well, we got that winter weather advisory staying north of our area. Okay, as we talked about, winter storm warnings toward Macon will be allowed to expire in the next 30 minutes. We take a look outside. First Coast News, we're 47 degrees. There's that north-northwest wind starting to kick up, so I'll have to be careful going home today, hour by hour. Notice the rain chances go from 70% at 1 o'clock to down to 30% by 3 o'clock. And a little bit of that sunshine I was talking about to finish the day. If there is good news, we're getting a little drought relief, okay? It may be ugly, but at least it's going to a good cause, okay? We've got another quarter-inch or snow of rain, but before all is said and done, I think many of us will see about a ½ inch of rain. So those drought conditions continue across the area. Most of us still in that moderate drought here, and yeah, we're going to start to see some improvements, it looks like, over the next few days. So today, 41 degrees, falling to 41 by late day with that sunset at 5:51. And hopefully we can enjoy that sunset together. Yeah, we're going to enjoy a brighter finish to the day, but it's going to be cold. We see current temperatures quickly falling, 33 Macon to 47 in Jacksonville. Then look at the wind chills. By the time you get up into Macon, in Atlanta, Georgia, mid to upper 20s. We're going to start to see that as we go into later on tonight. Travel weather, again, be careful heading north. and over our area, right? And down to central Florida, there's going to be showers all the way to Orlando and Tampa this afternoon with highs there a little bit warmer. Okay, overall tonight, there's the lows. 29 officially Jacksonville, 27 Waycross, Folkestone to Lake City. If we have to protect the pipes, it would be interior areas of southeast Georgia and back toward Lake City. This time around, most of us closer to the upper 20s to near 30, 32 on the south side. And the beaches will be in the mid 30s along with the river. Our wind chills, old man winter, that's the big story tonight. By morning, many of us feeling between 20 and 25 degrees. Even the beaches getting in on those upper 20s, feeling like 29 tomorrow morning in Fernandina. And as we go through tomorrow, one quick thing, we've got Martin Luther King Jr. parade. Want to get to that? We got mid to upper 50s. Parade weather, drum roll please, Katrina. Here it is. All right, I heard it. Okay, we're talking about the parade starting off with temperatures right around 47, and then we'll finish into the lower 50s with lots of sun, still chilly. And as we look at the polar air tracker, as I leave you with this, finally it retreats this week, and your big 7-day forecast does include